I'm just going to reiterate what Obi said today. The first point he made was that you cannot change a system from outside. I don't know whether that makes a lot of sense to you guys, but let me just kind of clean it up for you. Changes come from inside. Changes come from inside. And that's the reason why you see a lot of people are miserable. The reason they are miserable is because they look sexy outside, but their inside is in turmoil. They have not done enough work to make their inside clean. So they are walking around, shaking their behind, what I call shaking their behind, what other people might call wabble wabble, wabble wabble wabble. And they have everything from outside, but the inside is not in good shape. He just said that in a TV in the US in a TV show called Noire TV, Noire, in about 19 minutes television show that he just had there in the US. It just came up an hour ago. There were other things that he said that the diasporans should be meant to vote because we are the only country in Nigeria where the diasporans are not able to vote. That's another point. He's talked about the criminalized transnational system we have in Nigeria. Nigeria is a capture state. And he's talking about all these things that the establishment guys and the establishment girls would want to stop him from getting to power because they know he's going to flip the narrative or he's going to flip everything upside down when he gets there, which he has already done. He has a precedent, antecedent for that. So we're going to try and bring him there. I am frustrated that I do not have the money, the resources to go out there and start knocking on doors right now because of my patriotism to Nigeria. I did not do anything against Nigerian interests to the point where I put my name on online yesterday to see whether my degrees that I accumulated from the School of Agriculture, an associate degree, my bachelor's degree from WIU, from another associate degree from Mastery Business School, from another bachelor's degree from DeVry Institute, whether they were showing up online, it didn't show up. The only thing that shows up was my book, Guide to Goddess, that shows up, and the eviction notice that I went through in my last day to come back to Nigeria. I was living in a south side of Dallas because I had an office in the south side of South Dallas that I was going to use to build the community up as a community organizer, like the way Obama did in south side of Chicago. But I will have a volunteer coming in from all other parts of the world, like China, India, that I wanted to come and use America to be able to get to the next level. Like, for example, their husband might have a working permit, but their wife cannot work. So what they are looking for was a turnkey from a non-for-profit so that when their paper now come up, they'll be able to say, hey, I work for me. A lot of them did not stay, did not stand out. They ran away because they were afraid that the place was too highly criminalized. The situation in Nigeria is not different from the situation in South Side of Chicago. It's not different from South Dallas. It's not different from East LA. It's not different from East St. Louis. So it is Obi's coming to this position where he's now is going to savage the people of African descent globally. Let me go into another one. He mentioned that a professor is now in charge of the INEC, Professor Josh Amotipa. How will a professor, a learned professor, start doing the wrong thing? I just had my best friend in Nigeria, in Mafasi University, just got his professor. And a year ago, if another friend of mine who was who came to Nigeria with me asked me, I thought you were my best friend. I said, yeah, but I have this guy who is bigger than life, who walks on water, who is like God. When I look at his defense of his thesis for his PhD, he has gravitated towards calling out the elites in Lagos. And when I was congratulating him on his professorship, I called him, I said, congratulations, Tiger. Because at the time I came into Nigeria, we did have a meeting. And the first thing I told him was that you were a tiger when you and I worked together. Have you now got to a point where you are being humbled because you have children? From what he has got right now, if, God forbid, I say, why do you put him into that position of monitoring INEC? He will make sure the right thing is done. How could you be a professor? Do you know what a professor is? A professor is, a cousin of mine is called Prof. in the New York stock, in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, because he is bigger than life. And his counterparts who are falling apart, right, left, and yonder, like Baja Biamila, Kaduso, Ayodele, they are all falling apart because they are in the same financial counterparts and colleagues and belongs to everything. But I asked him, I said, what is the status? Are they using what you call excellence? He couldn't answer the question satisfactorily to me. So I hope the professor will do the right thing. He talked about borrowing from the right, left, and yonder. He was saying something that was very, very, very sanguine. He said, first thing he would do when he gets into power is to bring Nigeria together. We are not together. What we currently have are people are afraid, and the schools are shut down nationwide, but the churches are filled up with hallelujah. The mosques are filled up with Amajura kids who are making what you call the second-class human being inside the slavery system, that the caste system we are building up, where a kid is meant to go and serve the rich family and they will not have a way of going forward. He talked about what you call stability in polity. Polity to him is the same thing as saying politics, but that's a Nigerian vocabulary. once you are elected, you stay. What he's saying is that he's going to see what he can do within the reach of his strength. He talks about our development. He talks about securing Nigeria. He talks investment in education. And he talks about what it means to have what he call character, courage, and conscience. And says that Nigeria is being led by those people that don't have no character. That's the only thing I have going for me, is that the ability to be able to do the right thing when nobody's watching you, so that when people are watching you, whatever you're doing doesn't matter, because people are watching you and they expect you to do the right thing. So you're going to be dancing, you're going to be somersaulting. I'm going to try and wind that up and say that if this is making sense to you, please, and I repeat, please go and subscribe to my channel. I am rusty in this area. I'm trying my best to see whether we can make Nigeria work during our lifetime. And I am not by any stretch of imagination confused about who I would love to see this election win, which is Obi Akwa-Akwaso. May God bless Nigeria, and may God continue to bless Erede Dokboko. Yeah, yeah.